Hello everyone, it's DA here. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope you are doing amazing. Welcome to the ultimate guide to the Ranger Javelin. This will give you the build, some tips, and how to min-max the Ranger Javelin because it needs it. It has affinity for weapons, which also means its damage system is more focused on gunplay, while others are towards melee, just tanking, or elemental abilities. This is a soldier javelin. It is very basic, which is also one of the main reasons why the skill ceiling for the Ranger is a little bit higher than the rest of the other javelins. You don't have all those special moves, all those special skills, so you will have to utilize your moves, your mods, and your understanding of every single weapon that you carry. You can't just pick up any weapon and call it a day. You have to check it and see what it does and how it benefits your javelin or how your javelin benefits that weapon. So that is very important. Now, with that said, let's move on to the build, and I will also break down what each mod does, and then we will move on to the gameplay where we'll talk about the dynamics and the rest of the things. So starting with the weapons, I am using Divine Vengeance and Thunderbolt of Ivania. A lot of you have seen my previous gameplay, and I've used these two weapons a lot as a combined duo. Divine Vengeance, as explained in a previous video, it does a lot of damage against big targets, and that explosion damage is insane, and it also applies some burning effects that doesn't last long, but it deals a lot of damage. Thunderbolt of Ivania is for enemies that carry shields, and regardless of the difficulty, this weapon has a great chance of melting them with that lightning surge effect, which is why I carry both of them. I use one to delete shields and attack enemies from time to time, and then I use the second one to take on those big targets. So it is very important that I pair those two together. Now, in terms of grenade, I'm using the last argument, which is going to be the last time I'm gonna argue with players who enjoy playing on a low skill ceiling. Anyways, this masterworked version gives me my ultimate back every single time I hit enemies with this grenade. I also have a really good roll because this roll gives me an extra grenade, which means I have 2 grenades in total. This also means I can toss 2 into the crowd, and if I hit just enough amount of enemies, I can get my entire ultimate back. For my assault launcher, I am using my legendary blast missile. This one is also perfect for me because it also has an extra 100% charge. This means now I have 2 grenades and 2 rockets, and that is a beautiful thing. You can swap out the rockets for acid darts if you want to, because that is also another great choice if you are going out solo or even sometimes maybe in squads as a ranger. For support ability, I went for the muster point because bulwark is still useless on high levels. Let's just be honest with ourselves. And at least muster points can help a little bit. Now, if you feel like you cannot do without the bulwark point, it's okay. I have an alternative for it where you don't even need it at all. We have something better, something that makes you almost invincible. Now, in the component slot, we have the General's Favor in slot 1, which is basically for the assault launcher recharge rate. In the second slot, I have Defensive Bulwark for 25% weapon damage, and it increases gun damage by 25% for 10 seconds. So whenever your health is low, you're going to be dealing more damage, which will also stack on top of that first 25%. In third, we have Softened Blows, which increases the Javelin's shields by a large amount. So when my shields run out, you can also look at this and see that I get 75% damage resistance for 5 seconds. This can determine if you live or die, so that is why I have it on here. Now in number 4, I have the Badge of Devastation for my assault launcher, and on number 5, I have Airborne Advantage, which I'm using for the hovering resistance. On my number 6, I have Victor's Resolve, which I'm using for the extra armor in the pickup radius. Number 5 and number 6 intrinsically balances each other out, so I get 30% blast damage in return and 30% impact damage, because if you subtract those negatives, you basically get what it is. Now that we have gone through the builds, let's go on to the gameplay, because this is going to be also very important. Right here, I am doing the Heart of Rage Stronghold on Grandmaster 2. I have cleared dungeons solo with the same build on Grandmaster 2 as well, and one thing you will notice is going to be my mobility and this is something that I got used to while playing Warframe, Destiny, and other games. Mobility is very important when it comes to the Ranger. If you move well enough, most enemies cannot hit you. The Ranger's evasive ability is a single dash, so to evade 3 times, I would suggest that you jump twice in different directions and then end that jump with a single dash. Now, if you run out of ammo and you have to reload, dash to the left, dash to the right, to basically make enemies miss their shots, and to cancel out the delay between dashes, jump in between, and then you will be able to dash immediately after that. Reload and get back to the action. To fill up my ultimate charge, you will notice that I keep on tossing out grenades. The grenades is really not to kill enemies because it's not going to kill anything in Grandmaster 2 or Grandmaster 1. My focus with that grenade is not to kill, but to use it to build up my ultimate. Remember that mod that we talked about earlier? That mod gives you this bonus where every time you hit enemies, you get your ultimate back. So that is why I keep on tossing it out. And you know, while I keep doing that, I keep using my guns as well. Now, when I have it fully charged, I pick my target and wait for the missile count, and you will notice some of those stripes. It is like strokes inside them, and those stripes will determine how many missile is going into each target. I believe it is 12 missiles in total. I toss out my grenades, get my ult, and then delete the enemies with my ultimate. When you want to use your ultimate, pick the right target and pick the right time wisely, because sometimes you may want to focus on a single target in a single point, and sometimes you may want to focus on a whole bunch of ads. So it is very important to prioritize how you want to use it. Now, in terms of survival, you will notice that I am getting several buffs. When my health is low, I deal more damage. To sustain me for that duration of the low health period, I have the defensive component giving me 75% resistance, and I also have that extra armor, which is also really good. One of the perks from all these mods. So basically we are stacking buffs upon each other. Some of them you won't even see it on the screen, but best believe they are there because you can feel it while you're playing. Anyways, that's going to be it for my Ranger guide. Ranger has a very high skill ceiling in terms of, you know, how you play it at this moment. So it could be hard for some of you to go into high levels with it, which is also why some of you will end up complaining about, you know, if it is possible to use Ranger on this difficulty or that difficulty. But if you study the javelins and the mods right, you can be unstoppable. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you find it informative. It's DS signing out. I'll see you in the next one.